Oh, wait, why didn't it go under... Ah, damn it. I didn't go under my other account.
Wait, so like, how am I supposed to do this?
Do what?
This, like, I see people.
Yeah, you just mute your... Oh, I need to mute myself.
A trick is if you hit the space bar while you're muted, it will temporarily unmute it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna...
Why is everybody muted?
Wait, did the professor ever post the Zoom for the office hours? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
No, actually, I was gonna post them today. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you have? I mean, I'm gonna answer all your questions right now, but I will post them. I have to make a, a meeting time. Yes, you're absolutely correct. And
Okay, I
other
have a
questions?
question.
Yes.
So the picture of my name, what I had to do was take a picture of it with my phone and like send it to my email and download it to my computer and send it. So
I didn't get yours, right, Roxanne? I did not get yours.
I don't know how to do it. Is there like an easier way to do it without like having a scanner?
No, you have
I did a Google Doc and I submitted that.
Yeah, but if you have to write it in your handwriting, right?
Do you have a
work. That's
Mac or do you have like a Windows computer?
no. I have Windows. I have HP.
Oh yeah, that would be the only way that like the way that you basically did it.
Well, she said she didn't get it, so it didn't work.
Did you attach the file when you went on Blackboard?
Yeah, I did. It took me a while to figure out how to do that, but I did all that, and it said that I sent it.
Oh,
I don't think, did you get a grade? Every student who sent it, I put a grade for them.
oh really? Let me.
Yeah, I put 1.
Let me see that.
I couldn't do mine yesterday. I was at work, so I don't know if, yeah, I'm gonna be lost.
This is not a big deal. It was just a practice.
Okay.
It was just
Okay.
a picture of your
The
name.
quiz today though.
What?
How are we gonna like do the quiz then?
Okay, today, in case you couldn't use Blackboard, just take a picture of it and email it to me. Do you know how to do
Okay,
that?
perfect.
Is that clear?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
in
can do
case
that as
you-
well.
You just
Yeah.
email it. Okay.
I prefer it on Blackboard because that's easier for me to grade. All of you will be together. But since it's the beginning, just take a picture and email it. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah,
Want
and
us
then I
to
will give
put-
what? Go ahead.
You want us to put the title?
I want the name. Yeah. And send it
The title
through
as like
your,
quiz
yeah.
or whatever, so you know which email is which.
Yeah, and use your Purdue email. Don't use anything else.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Use. Otherwise, I will be lost.
I don't even see a grade for that quiz.
It means I did not get it. I didn't get it.
What
I
would it
put
say? Quiz 0?
Yeah, she has it under quiz 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it in there at all.
Yeah. Every student who does not have a grade, it means I didn't get anything from them. Okay.
That sucks.
So what I want tonight, for those who know how to do it, please do it. For those who couldn't do it, just email it. Fair enough?
Very
So
nice.
it is for the grade.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
the one from yesterday. The one from
Yeah,
yesterday.
the one from yesterday was just 1 point though. If you did it, you did it.
Don't
I mean,
worry
1 point,
about
1
1 point. 1 point will not affect anything.
For
It's
me,
1
in this
point.
case, tomorrow
It's
night,
1 point
yes.
after 600 points, so don't worry about that.
So for the quiz,
Yes.
are we gonna have to like write the questions out ourselves, or are we
No,
gonna?
you don't have to. You don't have to.
Or
But
you
you are very clear. I want it to be written neatly on a piece of paper, like number 1, solve it, but put it in order. Number 2, number 3, number 4.
Okay.
Is
Is there a way to get the quiz though, like online, like through Blackboard though?
It
do it
is online.
like a
The quiz will be open online tonight at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it will close at 6:50. Now, the time on Blackboard is West Lafayette time. So it's a bit confusing. It's not our time. It's West Lafayette time. So according to Blackboard, it will be written 7:50, but it's not 7:50, it's 6:50. So don't get confused because it's confusing. Okay, any other
Okay.
questions?
So like technically, we have that amount of time to write the problems down.
You
What
have
time
that
do we
much
have to have
time
this
to
email?
solve it and email it.
Oh.
Okay, it's not gonna take too much. I did not pick a quiz that takes a lot of time. Is that very clear? It shouldn't take more. And the worst case scenario, just email it after 1 hour. So between 6 and 7, I should get all of you, either by Blackboard or by email. Is that?
Do you open up something already on Blackboard, or it will open up in?
It will open up. It's
Okay.
not open yet.
Can you write down your email for me so I can copy it down just in case?
It's elias@pnw.edu. Sorry, I'll write it. ELIAS
Uh-huh.
at pnw.edu.
Okay.
All right? But please try Blackboard. Try Blackboard. That's the easiest way for me to grade all of you.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it and then I'll just attach the file if I could do that.
Right. Any other questions as far as the quiz is concerned? Okay.
Oh, well, I think what somebody was trying to say is, if in the future, like, would it be like an upload like of a worksheet, and then we could just print out the worksheet or the quiz, and then we can write it out?
That
It's
would be
the
good.
quiz like usual. All right. And you
It's a
don't have
timed quiz,
what?
so that wouldn't really work. It's a timed quiz, so that wouldn't really work.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
All right. So let's get back to work because we're wasting 5 minutes, not wasting. All right. Questions from the homework get going. First of all, is it clear what I'm writing?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's get started. Questions from the homework,
Yep.
as usual.
Let me go back. Hold on.
And you have to
I
be
didn't
quick.
have any questions at all.
Very good. Anybody else?
I just want to go over. I mean, I got the answers. I just want to refresh myself because I've
Yes,
been working
quick,
a lot.
quick questions.
Let's go over one, just to be on the safe side, and then let's
From the
go
worksheet or from the regular?
from the regular.
Okay. That's it, number one.
And then let's go over one where we find and then let's go over 14, and I'll be fine.
Okay. Number one and number 14, we're gonna do both of them. And then we proceed. Okay, so number one. And we have the following. Let us consider the exponential function. So my function is f of x equal 1000 times 1.1 to the power x. And the questions are, what is the initial value of f? Or what is the initial value of a? Usually the initial value is the value of the function when x is 0. It means it's 1000, 1.1 to the power 0. But this is 1. Anything to the power 0 is 1. The initial value is going to be 1000.
Okay.
It's always this piece. It's when you plug in 0 in here, 1.1 to the 0 is 1, you are left with 1000. B. What is the growth factor? The growth factor is the B. That's the growth factor. So the growth factor is 1.1. C. What is the growth rate? It means basically by what percent, if you imagine this function is representing a population that's growing, the growth rate is by what percent is the population growing every year. That's really what this is. So what's the relationship? The growth factor is 1 plus the growth rate. Okay. Now I have the growth factor. 1.1 is 1 plus the growth rate. And the question is, we need to find the growth rate. So the growth rate is 1.1 minus 1. The growth rate is 0.1. And in terms of percent, 0.1 is 10%. Finally, they want you to complete the table, which is basically just to know exactly how to plug in values into x. So we have x here, and this is my function f of x, which is 1000, 1.1 to the power x. And they want you to evaluate it at 0, at 1, and at 2. All right. So let's do it very clear. F of 0, we know. I've already done it. That's the initial value. F of 1 is, so I'll do f of 1 here and I'll write it. F of 1, it means my input is 1. That is, I'm going to put 1 for x. X is an exponent. Now 1.1 to the power 1 is just 1, so it's 1000 times 1.1. And in this section, you absolutely need a calculator. That's something I will not take away because nothing could be done without it. So now I just plug in numbers into my calculator and I compute, which is gonna give me 1,100. Okay, now f of 2. So it's just plugging in, practice how those behave. So it's 1,000 times 1.1. The power 2 is the power here. That's where the 2 comes from. It's the power. And now again, you pick up your calculator and you compute 1,000 times the quantity 1.1 to the power 2. And 1,210. All right, any question about this problem? Okay. And you guys can use chat to tell me what's going on if you have questions. Is that clear?
Question.
Yes, I'm listening.
On E, it asks if it's positive, if the initial value is positive, is there any way that the initial value would be a negative number?
It can. When the function is not really representing population, it can. In general, we will allow A to be negative, absolutely. We will get to that in, I think, in 2 more sections, where we treat them not only as functions that represent population or how is money, increasing in a bank or stuff like that, just as a mathematical entity, then A will be allowed to be negative. Okay, very good question though. Yes, eventually we will. But then the interpretation will not be a population because it can't be negative. That's the idea.
Okay.
But if you were tracking debt or something like that, it would be a negative.
Yeah. So let's look at number 14. All right, we have it down. It has a population of 1,000 people in the year 2005. And it's growing at an annual rate of 4% a year. That's the growth rate. It means every year it increased by 4% of the year before. Every year it increased 4% of what it was. And let f be the function that each time t after 2005 assigns the population of the town at the time. Determine a formula for f of t. So the growth rate is 4%, and initially, it means at t equal to 0, the population is, according to them, is 1,000. And the question is, find a formula for f of t. Whenever a quantity increases by the same percent every unit of time, it has the form a times b to the t. So whenever any physical quantity increase by the same percent every unit of time, the function follows the rule a times b to the t. A is your starting. What happened at t equal to 0? What is b? B is the growth factor. B is 1 plus the growth rate. Now the population is increasing. It means the growth rate is positive. If the population were decreasing, the growth rate would be negative. So it means this is equal to 1 plus. Now 4% in decimal, 4% is 4 over 100, which is 0.04. So that's 1 plus 0.04. It means this is 1.04. And the formula now for the population is my initial times my growth factor to the power t. So what the growth factor tells me that every year the population is 104% of what it was the year before. It increased by 4%, but it's 104% of what it was. Questions?
Nope, I got it.
Okay, anybody else?
I have one more though. I seen when your lecture notes, there was like a sideways M. I didn't quite understand that.
There is what?
I think you got the lecture notes mixed up. The ones for last week were supposed to be this week's, and the one for, or today's were supposed to be Mondays, and the ones for Mondays were
Ah,
supposed to be
okay,
days.
all right.
I
So
think
today, what we are going, thanks, Don. Today, what we're going to do is the following. I'm going to address the following problem. All right. In the previous section, if I gave you the growth rate and I gave you the initial population or whatever, the initial value, we were able to find the formula of the function. What we're going to do today is the following. Let us say I tell you that the function is exponential. So this is given to you. So I'm thinking of a population that grows exponentially. But I don't give you the rate anymore. I don't give you the rate. And I don't give you the initial population necessarily. But I give you two data points. So I give you the function. I tell you it's exponential. And I give you the values of the function at two different data points. How can we find a formula for the function? So that's what we're going to concentrate on. So I tell you, okay, this is an exponential. It means that's the rule that it follows. I give you its value. For example, I give you the initial, and I give you its value after 2 years. And the question is, can you find a formula for the function using those two data points? That's what we're going to be doing today. All right, so let's start. Okay, I'll go back now to my notes. That's what your classmate was telling you. Sorry, I had them backward here. One, two, three, four. So remember when we worked with linear function. When you remember we worked with linear function, if I gave you 2 points, I asked you to find a formula for the line. Actually, we're going to do the same thing. But now if you have an exponential function, and the graph of the exponential function is usually goes like that, and or it goes like this. And I give you 2 points. Can you find me the exponential function that go through that point and that? So let's get started. So my question now is, so those are on Blackboard. You don't have to write anything. How to find a formula for an exponential function from 2 data points. All right, so we're going to do only examples today because that's really what it takes. So that's my first example. Let f be an exponential function. And below are some values of f. Okay, so I'm giving you value for x. The question is find a formula for f. So I'm telling you that at 0, these are the value I'm giving you. If x is 0, the output is 3. If x is 2, the output is 12. So graphically, I'm telling you, I'm giving you those 2 points, 0, 3, and 3, 12. And my question to you is that find an exponential function that go through those 2 points. We're going to do this type of problem. Actually, it's not very hard. It's an exponential function. It means it has the form a times b to the x. Like when I tell you linear, you tell me, okay, the form is mx plus b. Now I'm telling you exponential, it means that's the formula. Finding a formula means you have to find the a and have to find the b. And I'm giving you 2 information to find the a and the b. Is my problem clear so far?
Yeah.
yes.
Please feel comfortable to put the chat if you don't understand. So how I'm going to find a and b? I have 2 data points. So I have basically 2 things I can work with. The first, I have that the function takes 0 to 3. That's what I have. I'm going to use this. How can I use it? What does it mean? It means if I plug in 0 for x, a times b to the 0 is equal to 3. This is very good because this is going to give me what?
A.
This is going to give me a immediately. So I have the first piece of the puzzle. So my problem is to find the A and the B, and I'm giving you two data to find them. I have my A. Now, f of 2 is 12. How can I use this fact? Means that in this formula, if I plug in 2 for x, I get 12. It means if I take A times B squared, I should get it 12. But I know what A is. A is 3. So I plug it back into here. I get 3 times B squared is equal to 12. And then I solve for my B squared. B squared is 4. It means B is equal to 2. B is always positive. So I only pick up the positive value. So my function f is 3 times 2 to the x. That's how we're going to find a formula. So if I have a population, and I know this population is growing exponentially, and that's how a lot of time population grow. And I know initially we have, let's say, 3 millions. And since I cannot count the population every year, I counted after 2 years. I realized I have 12 million. So I asked myself, okay, what's the formula for the population? So I can know what's the population every unit of time. I can use this trick to find a formula for the population. So let us sum up clearly what we have. Exponential, it means it has this form. I have to find A and B. I have 2 unknowns. So I should give you basically 2 pieces of information to be able to find those 2 unknowns. In this problem, I gave you basically the initial value. I gave you A. And then, okay, once you get A, you want to find B, but I gave you another data point. At 2 is 12. I plug in 2 in here, equal 12. I use the facts that A equal to 3, and this will give me B equal to 2. Questions? Okay, I want you now to take a piece of paper yourself and try to do the second problem. Get going. Take a piece of paper. Almost every one of you should be able to handle that before I move on myself. Quick.
Which
Are you with
problem?
me? The problem that you can, oh, sorry. I need a white sheet of paper. This is a white sheet of paper. I meant, you guys don't see anything, do you? No.
No.
Okay, this is my problem. This is my problem.
There we go.
You guys see it?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's good.
10 questions. I want my function at 0 to be 100 and at 4 to be 90. Okay, I give you a few minutes to set it up and then we go through it all together. Every one of you should be able to do it. Everyone who's following me. Okay, what did you guys find so far? Raphael, in mute. What did you find so far?
Yeah, it keeps moving on to a different screen. I don't know how to lock it to keep yours in the middle.
Then chat. Write it on chat. Write your answer on chat.
You pin it.
How do you pin it?
I just double clicked it.
Where you it says recording, and right next to it it says pin. You press pin.
It doesn't say pin.
So go to the
Little eye?
mouse. Put your cursor on recording, and then it should pop up.
No.
All right, can you chat though?
Try just double clicking
Okay,
if you
on
can
the
find it
top.
up on top.
And then it says pin.
Double click? Oh, I double clicked it. Now it says unpin. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I was wondering, it keeps switching the screen over. It was getting on my nerves a little bit.
Okay. All right, what did you guys find so far?
Nothing.
Nothing? You should have.
Mine turned into a fraction. I don't know if that was what was supposed to happen.
All right, did you find A?
Yes.
A is 100, right? So first we
Yep.
start with what is the form of the function. The minute we say exponential, that's the form, and that's crucial first step. And then 2 data points. I put them in front of me. At 0, it's 100. And at 4, it is 90. And I'm going to use those two ideas, those two data to find the A and the B. All right, the first one, f of 0 equal 100, it means if I plug in 0 in here, I get 100. That's really what it means. But by now, we know that this is 1, giving me A equal 100. Right, that's the easy part. Now, I'm going to work with f of 4 equal to 90. What does this mean? It means if I plug in 4 for x, a times b to the 4, so I'm plugging it right here, this is equal to 90. That's how does this read. But a is 100. So 100 times b to the 4 is equal to 90. Now I need to solve for b to the 4. Now we should know how to do that. How to do that quickly?
Divide both sides by 100.
We're going to divide both sides by 100. So this is going to give me b to the 4 equal 90 over 100.
Okay.
Correct? It means b to the 4 is, okay, you can
9
write
over
it
10.
9 over 10 or 0.9.
Right.
Right? So what is b in here? How can I get b?
I don't know anything to the 4th power that equals 9.
That's all right. That's okay. In this section, this chapter, they are not going to be like before. The numbers, we have to pick them up from the calculator. Okay, so they will not be like, you will not be able to find a number raised to the power 4 equal 0.9. We have to use our calculator to pick up those numbers. Is that
Square
clear?
root? I mean, we're going to have to do
It'd be the
a
fourth
fourth
root of
Yes.
0.9.
Yeah, so, exactly. So b is the 4th root of 0.9. All right? Or it's 0.9 to the power 1/4. That's the only way we'll be able to deal with those problems in this section, because I cannot make them always nice numbers. This is not realistic anymore.
So
what
we don't,
is-
do we have to all the way solve that, or can we just leave it like that?
solve it, get used to it. Get
Use
used
the
to it.
calculator.
And use your calculator. You have to use the calculator and find your number to 3 decimal places. All right? So I'm going to take 0.9 to the power 1/4. That's what I am doing. And I'm going to find it to 3 decimal places. This is going to give me 0.974. And that's going to be my B. So I repeat in this section, you know, it's all right for you to use your calculator to compute the 4th power. And if I don't want you to, I know how, you know, I've done it.
I'm sorry,
So
can you
now
hear me for a minute? My internet cut off.
Oh, I cannot, that's a problem.
I know, it kind of sucked. Give me 1 second when I copy that down.
It is, you don't have to copy it down. It's
Okay.
already on Blackboard.
All right.
All right, it is on Blackboard. That's today's lecture. So I do have all the solutions on Blackboard.
Okay.
Okay, so now what is my function f? My function f is going to be 100 times 0.974 to the power x. So I have a formula. Now, how can I check that what I did is correct? How can I check?
Plug
Right
one
here.
of the data points back into.
Exactly. I go back to my data points and I say, are they satisfied? It means I'm going to compute f of 0, but we know that this is satisfied. But then I'm going to compute f of 4. And my question, do I get a 90? All right, let us try it. That's 100.974 to the power 4. I mean, of course, we're going to get almost 90 because we are rounding a little bit in here. So I try it. You guys try it with me. 0.974 to the power 4. I'm getting 89.998. Almost 90. The reason we don't get exactly 90 because at this stage we are rounding a little bit. That's what's really stopping me for getting exactly 90. Okay. Question as you move on. Anybody?
I don't know how to put fourth root into my, I don't know how to work my calculator. I'm horrible.
Okay, Roxanne.
I don't know how to put fourth root into it.
What's the fourth root? It's to the power 1/4.
I don't know how to do that on a calculator either.
Okay.
I don't know how to do
carefully.
anything on my calculator. Like at all.
Watch me carefully. Can you see my calculator on Blackboard?
A little bit.
Yes.
Okay, it got clear now.
Yes. 0.9
Mm-hmm.
to the power. You see it?
Yeah.
Open your parentheses.
Okay.
1/4. That's the fourth root. The fourth root is to the power 1/4. Are you getting it now?
Yeah.
Now
okay.
hit enter, you get the answer. So if you want the fourth root, the fifth root, the seventh root, and so on and so forth, that's how you get it. You raise it to the power 1/4, 1/5, whatever you need.
Mine didn't come out like that. It came out to 1.73 something.
No way.
That's what I got too.
9. Because mine doesn't do what yours does. It doesn't actually show you the little arrow. It lets me put the parentheses to put
What
1/4.
calculator do you have?
I have the TI 84 plus.
Oh,
Are you putting parentheses around 1/4? It's crucial.
Yes, I'm doing what you said.
How much did you get?
It's still giving me 1.732.
Wait, what can you do on the calculator?
Can you see my screen?
No, I can't see your screen.
Oh.
Wait, what are you having trouble doing?
Getting fourth root on my calculator.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I don't get the little arrow.
No, you go to, let me find it. I got you, hold on. You go to math under alpha.
Uh-huh.
And then you go down to a number 5. You press
Oh.
and then you put 4 or whatever, and then you should, that's the fourth root. It should be like that.
Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck.
All right. You figure it out later, Roxanne. We have to keep going.
Oh, man.
All right. The second piece is the following. So in the first two problems, I did on purpose giving you the value at 0 and the value at 4. And I ask you to find a formula. Now, if we can make it a little bit harder. And the question is how to solve those problems if we don't have f of 0, but we have 2 other values. So how can I deal with that if I did not give you very clearly f of 0, but I gave you 2 other values? So here is my problem. Some values of an exponential function f are given. Find a formula for f. This time, I gave you the value at 1 and the value at 3. And my question is to find the formula. Now, f of x is equal a times b to the x. So our goal is to find a and to find b. So I'm gonna start like the previous one, and then I'm gonna let you think about it and tell me what would you do yourself, because you guys may have other a lot of ideas. So, okay, let's go back to this paper. What do we have? F takes 1 to 3. It means I plug in 1 for X, A times B should give me 3. F take, but I cannot get any of them, yeah. Like previous one, because I had B0, I was able to get A. This time I cannot get A. And then F take 3 to 12. It means A times B to the power 3 equal to 12. My question is to solve for A and B. I want your input. If you have this problem, you're faced with this problem yourself, how can you do it? I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. So you have two unknowns. That's how you want to think about this problem. You have two unknowns, A and B. And you have those two equations that relate them. How can we solve for A and B? 2 minutes, quiet. Each one of you should be able to give me some input. Okay.
So is there going to be like 2 answers for each equation for the 3 and the 12?
No, you're gonna give me one A and one B.
Okay.
that satisfy this equation and that equation. No, they're gonna be one value of A and one value of B. Satisfy both. But I want you to think a little bit before I throw things at you. You know, think about it. How can we find those A and B if I know they satisfy both equations?
You set them to 0? Can you set 1 to 0?
No. How can I set anything to 0? A, you want two numbers. A times B have to be 3. It means that's what A and B should satisfy.
Well, that
A times B to the 3 should be 12.
well, the first one, either A or B is 1 and 3. I just don't know which one is which.
Not necessarily. A could be 6, right? A could be 6. Could be... Right. Could be a fraction. So
Divide it. Divide A.
What?
You divide A.
Repeat what you said. You may be on the right track, but you have to be clear.
You divide A and put it under the 3, so it'll be B equals 3 over A.
And then?
And that's where I stopped.
Okay, anybody else? I really want it from you, because if you guys come up with a good idea, that's what I will work with.
So then it'll be like 3 divided by whatever A is, the initial.
We have to find A.
Oh, okay. And then
so we have to isolate A, so we have to divide by B, right?
I would say multiply by 3 on the right side to put A on the left, the 3 on the left side.
No, you would divide by B, so it would be A equals 3B.
Right. No, yeah, same way.
3 over B.
Oh, yeah, 3 over B, my bad.
Yeah,
okay.
I was doing B equals 3 over A.
All right, let me, okay, I'm gonna walk with you. Is that clear? Walk with you till we figure it out together.
This one's rough.
What?
This one's rough. Somebody's saying something
a little bit, but once you make sense out of it, it will not be rough. That's why I want you to think about it, not me by myself. So let me see what you guys are telling me so far.
So A equals 3 over B.
Right, A over B equal to 3. It means A is 3 over B.
Right.
That's the only thing I can get so far. Everybody understand this step?
Yes.
Very good. But now what else do I know? A times b to the power 3 has to be equal to 12. To both. I want number that satisfies both those equations. Okay, start thinking a little bit.
So it would be
Everybody should be able.
b to the third power equals 12 over a, and you do 1/3 to the whole fraction.
No, I still cannot find b.
Okay.
You know, I want an equation that has b only.
All right. So
B equals 12 over A, right?
No?
would it be
Oh, you plug in 3 over b for a.
Right. Listen what he said. We know what a is.
Okay.
We know what a is. It's 3 over b,
3 over B.
right? So we're gonna plug a,
Third equals 12.
plug 3 over b for a in the equation a to the power b3 equal to 12. Okay, so what do we get? So in this equation, so I have a b to the power 3 equal to 12. I'm gonna plug in for a 3 over b times equal to 12. We're almost there. Now, I have only b in this. It looks a little bit nasty still, but how are we gonna solve for b?
With the
So
common denominator?
There is no
I
3b over
It just
b,
becomes 3 times b squared
right?
equals 12.
Okay.
And then you can remove the 3 or move 3 over
Yeah,
to the other side.
Exactly. b to the power 3 over b gives me what? b to the power 3, it means b times b over b. That's gonna give me
B squared.
b squared
Oh.
equal to 12.
And then divide both sides by 3.
So then we divide both sides by 3. And then I get my b equal to 2.
Wait, why did you move the b from under the 3 to the b to the cube?
How do you remember how we multiply fraction?
Yeah.
If you have a times c over d, it's a c over d times a is, if you want, ca over d. So basically you multiply numerator, you multiply denominator. Remember, this is not addition. There is no common denominator in the picture. This is a multiplication. So we're multiplying. So it's 3b to the power 3 over b.
Divided by 3.
Okay?
4 equals b.
Now, b equal to 2, but I want my a. But I know what my a is. A is 3 over b, but a is 3 over b. It means my a is gonna be
3 over 2.
3/2. And my function is 3/2, 2 to the power x. Okay, so it looks hard, but actually, if we try to think through it, it will not be that difficult. Now, in my lecture note, I have a different way to do it, but I will focus on that because that seems more natural to you. So let us repeat what we did. I want to find basically two constants, a and b. So that when I multiply them, I get 3. A times b is 3. And a times b to the power 3 is 12. So I want two numbers that satisfy this equation and this equation at the same time. I want both. So I said, you know, the first one will tell me, help me to find a. So a is 3 over b. And then I plug in 3 over b for a in the second equation. That's really what I did. Now, it's only an equation in b, but it's set up in a nice way. I multiply 3b cubed over b, I get 12. Now, b to the power 3 over b is b squared because I have b, I hold 1b, I can simplify, equal 12. The b squared equal 4, give me b equal to 2. And now I can pull out my a, which is 3 over 13, sorry, 3 over b is 3/2. And that's f of x will give me that. Now let us check that my f actually satisfies both conditions. So I'm gonna double check myself. So I ask myself, okay, my function takes 1 to 3. So I compute f of 1 according to my formula, and I ask myself, am I getting 3? Okay, 2 and 2, 3. Good for the first one. And then I said, I want my function at 3 to be 12. Okay, do I have it? So that's 3 over 2 times 2 to the power 3. And this is 3 over 2 times 8. Okay, 3 times, it means 24 because that's a multiplication. Multiply numerator, multiply denominator, which is equal to 12. So my function, that satisfies the both conditions I am after. All right, now I want you to practice another problem. Pick up a sheet of paper yourself, and you guys, this is the problem. So I want you to find a function that takes 2 to 4. It's an exponential. The word is crucial because next time I'm going to give you both linear and exponential. But for now, focus on that. And I want your function to take 2 to 4 and 5 to 13.5. Don't be scared now from 13.5. So step number 1, I want you to set up the problem correctly. Get going. All right, did you guys set it up first?
The first one is a times b to the second power equals 4.
Yes, the second one?
A times b to the fifth power equals 13.5.
Okay, do you agree? This is Patrick, right? I
Yep.
think. Okay, do you agree with Patrick?
Yes, I got the
Yes.
same thing.
So that's my function. It's a times b to the x. Okay, so now we want to find the a and the b. So you're going to look at this problem as we have two equations. A and b are the unknowns, and we have to find a and b. That's how we're looking at this problem. Okay, get going. Okay, what are you doing now? Which step are you on?
I'm on trying to isolate A.
Okay, anybody else?
I'm dividing. I'm in the last step of the second part. I already found A and I'm dividing by the number.
Very good. So A is, I want everybody to participate.
4 over B squared.
4 over B squared. And now we're gonna plug the value of A right in here and proceed. Okay, so I will plug it in and you guys tell me what to do after that. Okay. All right, what am I supposed to do? Do you want me to call you by name or do you guys, I know who's in class, so.
Don't you move over the B squared?
What?
Don't you move over the B squared?
I don't move, I mean, exactly.
Okay,
But
I
what
got the
I'm
answer.
actually doing is that I'm multiplying. So that's 4B5
Yeah.
over B squared, right?
Right.
It's just multiplying because I said when you have two fractions, you multiply them. It's multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator. There is no common no common denominator in the picture.
Right.
So
That's
that's
only for addition.
EQ.
what?
That's only for addition and subtraction.
Exactly, not product.
I always forget that.
That's okay. That's why we're here. Then
I solved it.
okay, so it's gonna give me how much?
4 times B cubed.
B cubed, because I have 5 over 2B cubed equal
13.5.
13.5, correct?
Divided by 4.
We divided by 4, so we are really solving now. It's really like solving problems. Very nice. So what's the B now?
You had to cube it. I mean, you had to cube root.
Right, because basically I have B to the power 3. To get the B, I need to get rid of the 3. But there is one thing that gets rid of the 3 is cubic root, or you can write
1/3
to the power 1/3. That's the only thing that gets rid of the power of 3. So B is the cubic root of 13.5 divided by 4.
Move your paper up a little bit.
Yes, thank you. Which is going to be equal to, and that's really my calculator is good for in those problems.
It's
Then
1.5.
13.5. Okay.
No, 1.5.
That's what you got. Anybody else got 1.5?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Anybody else?
In the chat, they said, yeah, they got 1.5.
Yeah, please on chat. You don't have to talk, just I want chat. I want to make sure who's doing it and who's not doing it.
How do you guys plug it in?
All right.
Plug what in? What are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about how do you put in the calculator to get 1.5?
You would divide 13.5 by 4 first before you cube it. That's easier. It was 3.375, I think.
Okay.
And then if you have a calculator like mine, you press the math button and you'll go down to like the 4th one. It has a cubic root. Do you see that? With the little parentheses?
I see it. Yeah.
You press that.
Uh-huh.
And then the cubic root will pop up and then you can just plug in 3.375.
Okay, sounds good.
What?
Yep, I got it.
Calculator problem.
Yeah, I know, because you guys have different than mine. And anyway, so
Thank
this
you.
is going to give me my B. And now I have to go back to my A. Now I go back to the relationship between them. My A is 4 over B squared over B squared. It means it's 4 over 1.5 to the power 2. Again, I have to use my machine. But I avoided it the whole semester, but I can't anymore.
Me too.
So how much you guys are getting for A?
I didn't do that part.
Got 1.777.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I got that, but I just rounded it to 1.78.
Right, this one we can round it up to 1.78.
Okay.
As you see, those numbers are not really trivial. They don't have to. Sometimes they are nice, but life is not, you know, integers. So what is my function now that satisfies those two data? 1.78 times the b, which is 1.5 to the power x.
So basically, we just plug in, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, we found the a and we found the b, and then we plug them back into my original formula.
Yeah, which is f of x equals
a times b to the x.
Okay.
So this is one way to do the problem, and that's the way I followed your intuition. Now, there is another way to do it. You don't have to use it at all, but I will, what?
Yeah, I like this way better.
Yeah, I think this is better because it's more intuitive for you. The other approach, I will just mention it, you know, by passing. Some students like it. Again, f of 2 is 4, f of 5 is 13.5. It means that's the setup. And we have to solve for a and b. If you like what you did, you stick to it. Another way to do it is that I take the ratio between them. Say ab to the 5 over ab squared equals 13.5 over 4. I take the ratio between them. Now the ratio works because I can simplify by a, leaving me with b5 over b squared equal 13.5 over 4, and then I take the cubic root and I get 1.5.
Wow.
What the hell?
You kidding me?
Okay, all right. For those who likes it, you guys can work for it. If you prefer the first one, you proceed with it. Is that very clear?
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is we need to solve for a and b. As long as we solve them correctly, that's really my goal. And the way you guys have approached it is very intuitive, and then we're gonna go with it. All right? Any questions before I let you go to take the quiz?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so that's the idea today, that so we have now an exponential function. The first, what we did last time is that we gave meaning to it. When does it occur? It occurs when you have a quantity that increases by the same percent. And this occurs a lot. I mean, the exponential is one of the most important functions you will work with. Today we say, okay, if I know that it grows by the same percent, but I don't know this percent, the only thing I know is two data value. How can I recuperate the function? How can I find the formula? And that's exactly what we are in the process of doing today. Next time, what we're going to do is we're going to contrast linear and exponential. We're going to go back to linear and exponential and study the difference between them. What distinguishes them, the two functions. Okay? All right, it's 7. I think the quiz should be there in 3 minutes. You guys can review your notes, and at exactly 6, the quiz will open up. Okay, so I can stay with you just if you have any questions at the beginning. And then I'll let you go. I'll leave you.
Okie dokie.
And as I said, please, first, if you guys have any comments about the way we're conducting this or anything you like me to do, I will. So just send me an email and tell you, okay, this we don't understand, this you can do. So please, your feedback is extremely important because we are in uncharted territory. I've never done this before in my life. So any input any feedback that's positive is very much appreciated. All right.
What are your office hours?
Office hours are like regular. I'm gonna put not right now, this evening, I'm gonna go set up a meeting with Zoom and I will put them back up there.
Okay.
Okay? So
Okay.
that will be from 4 to 5.
Okay.
Before class, just like regular. So I don't want anything to be different.
I also have a question about the exams. Is there any way you could leave like an exam open throughout the week? Because I've been working a lot of overtime.
I can't do that. I cannot do that. I have to do it during the regular class.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that has to be during regular class. You cannot be there?
No, I'm just saying because like recently I don't know what hours I work or anything because it's been kind of crazy at work.
Yeah, yeah. It's only 2 days. If you can just tell them, I'm not changing the date of the exam.
Okay.
Okay, so if you just tell them, please, you know, this is, she cannot change it. I mean, I have a whole class. I cannot really change it. Okay, anything else? Okay.
All right, good luck everyone on the quiz. Bye.
So long.
Bye-bye, guys.